So I kind of have a good idea of what makes America America and what the melting pot really was. And God We Trust is right there. Logically, we have to believe in God to be American because there's no free will without God. Unfortunately, Sam Harris made me face that reality. Way easier being agnostic, guys. Not easy facing your maker. There wasn't a force pushing me towards Christianity when it comes to like animal instincts and shit. It's just the logic started making sense to the point where I couldn't look away. There's no free will without the belief in God. God is what gives us a soul. In a world of determinism, you can't be a father. How do you explain to your kid to try hard, or that it's his fault, or that he should do better, or self-ownership without a soul, without free will? And some people are like, well, I'm an atheist, but I believe in free will. You really don't then. You have to believe in God to have free will. If not, we're just a series of chemical reactions. What makes us special is God. Without God, there's no free will. So deal with that and then come back to me. That's why people like Sam Harris are determinists. And they say stuff like when someone in a crowd says, how do I teach my son determinism? And he says, you lie, and everyone laughs. I didn't laugh. I wanted to know the fucking answer. When my son is too rough with baby brother Charlie, how do I tell him to stop? How do I say, oh, no, you're not in control. This is a series of chemical reactions based on your genetics, your environment, a lot of things you can't possibly understand. And he then says, so what do I do? It doesn't matter. Everything's predetermined. That's reality if you're an atheist. A lot of atheists don't face the hard reality of what atheism means. There's no soul and there's no free will. Try and teach your son how to live in this world as a determinist. And as Sam Harris says, just lie. That's a choice, Sam. And if you're truly a determinist, you can't say words like I am, I will, I'm going to. You fucking wizard. Figure out your shit. I'm not telling you what to believe, but unless you're a determinist, you believe in God, whether you want to admit it or not. A leftist who doesn't believe in a soul, it's like a wolf doesn't commit murder. So when you commit murder, when you kill somebody, why is it bad? It's because you should know better. Why? Because you have free will. Why? I don't know. Stop asking questions. Want to know why you didn't answer that question? Because it's God. Without God, there's no free will. Without free will, life is a meaningless pile of shit. You can't teach. You can't protect. You have no purpose. You have no history, no meaning, nothing. You can't plan for the future. You can't snap out of your own hell if you truly believe there's no free will. If the words coming out of my mouth are predetermined, what is stopping me from blowing my fucking brains out? Nothing. Because that's predetermined too. That's why these sophists, these wizards, these dark force spell makers are so full of shit. Why do you think I can't stand Sam Harris? He knows there's a soul, or else he wouldn't say, I will, I do, I am. Why would he debate? Why would he give a fuck about anything? Why would he produce? How does he teach his kid? Without God, humans aren't special. So we're just wolves? We're just instinctive psychos that should just bash each other with rocks and steal each other's shit? Just fuck and breed and orgy and hurt each other? And just be so baseline that we hopefully can find a potato in the wilderness? No! Civilization is based on free will and a soul, and without God, there is no soul. There's no free will. You're just an animal. Accept that or don't accept that. But I'm sick of these people playing games. I'm sick of live action role play where people are like, I'm an atheist, but, you know, I believe that I'm... No, there is no I. You're a goddamn jackal in the night if you don't believe in God. You're a coyote. There is no anything. The existence of a soul as an idea means that you want it, and you wouldn't want it if you were truly an animal. Logically, there is a God. There's no logic without God. How's there logos? If everything is just an impulse from chemical reactions, how can you think? Fuck, right? Try and come back from that shit. Because I know a lot of moral atheists, but they're not really atheists. They just don't fucking know it. They hate religion. They hate the lies from the priest from when they were a kid, just like me. They hate the idea of God because they watch people manipulated by it. Good people, easily tricked, give their money to a shyster. And so for that, they hate God. For that, they see God as a manipulation, as evil, as non-existent. That's it. You're not an atheist. If you believe in free will, you're not an atheist. You just don't know it. You just have a tangled web in your mind. You may not believe that Jesus turned water into wine. You may not believe in the Bible, but you sure as shit believe you're special if you think, I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore I am. That's the basis of Western civilization. Try and argue around that. Fucking feel free. You're not going to win. I'll still love you. I'll still think you're cool. I know atheists that have served in Afghanistan and Iraq, overseas. They've done shit that I can't fathom. They believe in God. They just don't know it. Because without God, every premise they live by doesn't exist. Sam Harris is such a fucking douche. I used to love the guy too, just because he stood up to Islam. But then I just realized he just does that to all religions. He thinks the Christian God and the Jewish God is just as bad because he's a fucking retard. He's either intentionally misconstruing the story of Isaac and Abraham or he's retarded. God did not want him to kill his son. He was teaching that to stay in the covenant, you have to be able to give up everything to stay in the covenant. And only then do you keep your son. If God says you must give up your own family to stay in the covenant, that's why Jews are considered the chosen people and Christians are chosen people. If you follow these rules, you don't get annihilated. In the world of Sodom and Gomorrah, in the world of Leviticus, if you don't follow all of this shit, all of it, you die. Your family dies. Everyone dies. There's no refrigeration. There's no penicillin. There's no WebMD. You're dead. So that's why it was a harsh reality. And so when Sam Harris is like, oh, it's an angry God. No, it's a God that was masculine enough to tell his people, do this or you fucking die. And out of that comes Sermon on the Mount. Out of that comes the freedom of man, the freedom of the individual, the freedom to love your neighbor. That doesn't come without Leviticus. And when you give that up again, if you give up the freedom, if you give up the freedoms that we got from the New Testament, from Jesus Christ, literally, the turn your other cheek and love thy neighbor and all that stuff, we go back to Leviticus. And if you don't follow the rules about shellfish, you're dead. The world's harsh as fuck. We see this world because it's been created out of this knowledge, this truth, this logos. Without Jesus, there's no logos. Without God, there's no soul, there's no free will. This is logical. It's so insane to me when people make it seem like religion is illogical. Yes, there's a leap of faith. Yes, to believe in God and in Christianity, there is faith, a faith element. It's fucking true, man. It's true. And it's like, if you're logical, the use of logic itself means you believe in God, means you believe in Jesus. Fucking try to argue that with me, man. It's not there. But you can be an atheist and I'll still be your friend. I'm not a feverish religious person. I'm just into truth. I don't see how you can believe in a soul or free will without God. But I'm not saying you can't be an atheist. But if you're here and you're a bear and you're a good dude, there's a really good chance you believe in God, you just don't know it. Every single sentence you say and belief you have is on the knowledge of free will, which only comes from the breath of creation.